Okay, then I can size my answers accordingly. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Well, I was born to an astrologer. My father was an astrologer, and probably he learned it from his family people because his father died early, that's what I knew. And his elder brother was also in the same line. In fact, in those days, they were considered as tantrics. And they were also giving some demonstration of tantric powers, etc. That's what I heard. Anyway, my father is my guru, and he has been my only guru. I have not studied any of these subjects which I am teaching or lecturing from anybody else. He was the one who opened the light of each one of the subjects which I have been lecturing on. I say that because I don't say that he sat with me hours and days and years together teaching me. He would just give small hints and ask me to think about it. Yeah. And then as I thought and went deep into the subject, several things were revealed to me. That is how I learned all these things. And so my knowledge comes from my guru, my father. And even now I feel that some of the intuitive flashes which I get are coming by his guidance from another world. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't think he followed Nadi. Mostly he followed Western astrology for a long time. Because you see, the sun sign astrology is the most paying commercial proposition. Because you give these predictions and everybody can easily access it because they know their sun sign. So for the commercial aspect of it, probably he followed the Western astrology. But when it came to dealing with actual predictions for individual clients, he depended purely on Vedic astrology. Yes, because the Western system of sun sign predictions just gives a global general study, and people are happy to know that much. But when life's problems come and they come to him to solve those problems, to make a more clear, specific prediction, it can be done only through Vedic astrology because Vedic astrology has the systems by which you can come to precise conclusions and give proper guidance to your client. Yes. Yes, I am using only Lahari Ainamsha, And I find that mostly the dasha systems calculated on that basis and the various charts calculated on that basis seem to be working, at least for me. Parashara was my favorite, and I follow 99% Parashara system. I have dabbled in the other systems and have some smattering knowledge of them. I don't use them. I use only what is seen in the Parashara system. Yes. Well, according to me, if the Rasi chart is the king, the Navamsa chart is the queen. And the queen sits always by the side of the king. And so, therefore, whenever the Hindu astrologer draws the charts, he draws the Rasi chart and puts the Navamsa chart by the side. Because these two alone will help him to come to precise conclusions. As a matter of fact, I also take into consideration the nakshatras. Somehow, our astrologer seems to give less importance to that. But if you see the Vedic system, as soon as the longitudes of planets are put on the chart, they immediately put into which nakshatra and which pada each of the planets are put. After that only they put the Rasi chart and the Navamsa chart. So this nakshatra mandala is very, very important. How I try to explain to my students is, the Rasi chart is like the tree. So we know the individual, it's a mango tree or a lemon tree or an orange tree, whatever tree it is. The nakshatra mandala are the roots. If the roots are strong, the tree is strong. It gets its food properly, it is able to grow properly, it is able to evolve properly. In other words, what is indicated in the Rasi chart can operate properly if the food comes properly. Yes. That is, the simple rule is, according to the system, if a planet is in the nakshatra ruled by a friend, it is strong. If it is ruled by an enemy, it is weak. So, that is because it is in that nakshatra, that root is not allowing it to absorb the energy properly. So, that is how I decide the first stage. Then, the Navamsa is compared to the fruits of the tree. So, there is a tree, we have the roots and we have the fruits. Because there may be a tree, it is well grown, we see it's nice, but when the season comes, it does not give fruits. There are some trees like that. So the tree may be good looking, there may be branches, leaves, everything, but the fruit which should come at that particular season may not come at all or may come in a very less quantity. Whereas some trees, they give so many fruits. So that can be seen in the Navamsa. Yeah. So in the Navamsa, of course, there are some people who study the Navamsa exactly like the Rasi. I agree with that. Excepting that, I don't use the other Shodasa Vargas, I don't use the aspects except in the Navamsa. That is to say, I study the Navamsa exactly like the Rasi chart and determine the energy of the planet in the Rasi and in the Navamsa. So, if in the Navamsa the planet is strong, then I say the fruits are there. But supposing the planet is strong in the Rasi, but is weakened in the Navamsa, so I modify my judgment and predict accordingly. If it is completely weak in the Navamsa, I may say that though in the Rasi this is indicated, it may not happen at all. Yes. So I take in the Shat Balas, the Sthana Bala is the most important of all. To assess the strength, the energy of a planet, we have to take into consideration the Sthana Bala. In considering the Sthana Bala, after that we need to take also the Drishti Bala, because that strength is modified by the aspects. So these two, the Sthana Bala and the Drishti Bala of the planets in the Rasi, I study to assess whether a certain event will have take place. For example, having children. So for every topic, we have the Grahakarakatva, we have the Bhavakarakatva. Children are judged from Jupiter and Moon. The bhava is the fifth bhava. Sometimes, in the ancient time, the ninth bhava also, because children were considered to be the bhagya for the couple, so they were considering that. Today, what is the house? Yes. So the fifth house. So if you want to tell something about the children, you have to consider the energies of Jupiter, of Moon, and the energies that operate on the fifth bhava. So we synthesize all these things in the Rasi chart and see whether they are blessed with children, or they are not blessed with children, or they are blessed with children with difficulty, or the children will give them trouble later on. All these aspects we can try to see in the Rasi chart. Same system I apply in the Navamsa. And if in the Navamsa it is supported in the similar level, then I say you are sure to have children. If it is less, I say children may be delayed, there may be some difficulty in your getting children, and depending upon the particular aspects, you may have to have some medical intervention to have children, the specific case. Or you can say that you are not likely to have children. I only rely on the Navamsa, but as you have said, when you go to the Shodasa Vargas, Parashara has said the Saptamsha is related to the children. So there what I do is, when I am assessing the energies of the relevant planets Jupiter and Moon and the Lord of the fifth bhava, I see whether these three planets in the Saptamsha are in favorable signs or not. That is all I use the Saptamsha for. Because I don't draw the Saptamsha chart and begin to see the aspects in it and all those things. That is not what I do. I only see the relevant planets being in favorable signs. Favorable means whether they are in the sign of exaltation, friendly signs. Yeah. See, this yoga is a very tricky subject. You see, the real estate people publish a brochure with beautiful pictures drawn of their project, of the resulting houses, gardens, etc., etc. At the end of the brochure, in very small letters, they put a disclaimer saying this project, this brochure does not represent the eventual result of the project, and the builder has a right to change, modify, omit, or add according to the requirements. So finally, when you get the project, it will not be anything like what has been told. In the same way, when the yogas have been written in the books, a small disclaimer is written there that these yogas work only if the relevant planets are unafflicted. So that disclaimer makes the whole thing very complicated, because very rarely can you find a planet unafflicted. That means the yoga may work, may not work. So what is the use of depending on these yogas in a mechanical way and saying you have Pancha Mahapurusha yoga, you have Malavika yoga, you have this yoga and that yoga? Simply because that combination exists, the computer will tell you have these yogas in your chart. And that is only a guidance given by Parashara to the astrologers to realize that certain combinations also can give good results. Certain combinations can give bad results. So don't consider planets individually, but also take into consideration the combination. But it is up to the astrologer to see whether he can use that combination. Because the planets are afflicted, he can omit the combination at all, totally. But what happens is, professionally speaking, as soon as the client comes and the astrologer takes his chart and he says, oh, you have 3 or 4 yogas in your chart, the client's face blossoms. Because commonly the word yoga, which is actually technically used to mean combination. Yoga is the word for combination. But the common concept of yoga is luxury, enjoyment of life. So what happens is the client thinks, oh, my chart is showing that I am going to be a very prosperous person enjoying the luxuries of life. That is the understanding he takes. So he is very happy to hear these words. So my own feeling is that the yogas have to be considered by the astrologer, bearing in this mind this disclaimer, and no need to emphasize this to the client. What the client needs to know is what exactly will happen. Because I have seen many clients come to me and say, what sir, many astrologers told I have Raja Yoga, but I am rotting in this Tahsildar's office as a clerk. The simple point is, in the Raja Yoga, the planets are afflicted. Yes. Yoga. So, the astrologer only mentions the word there is Raja Yoga. Make the client happy. So what I am saying is, These yogas should be used by the astrologer, but it is for his use, not for the pleasant music of the ears of the client. Yeah. So, precisely. I don't stick to this book formula like. I see the planet because if the planet is strong and there is this aspect and this combination, whether it is mentioned as a yoga or not, it will give the result. Yeah. Yeah. See, if the Navamsa chart alone is given, it is a little bit difficult to give a complete picture. Certain things, yes, definitely can tell. For example, if you give me the Navamsa chart and ask about the matrimonial companionship life of the individual, I can give a very exact picture which will be true to the life. Similarly, if the general fortune, the level of rise of the life of the individual is concerned, I will be able to tell from the Navamsa. But if he wants more clarification about the professional direction, I don't think the Navamsa alone will help me. I need the Rasi chart. Yeah. Yeah. Now, now that is if you are talking where we don't have the Rasi chart. If you have the Rasi chart, first I judge in the Rasi chart the seventh bhava, which is connected with the matrimonial situation. Jupiter, the planet of Kutumbakaraka, and Venus, Kalatrakaraka. So these three things I studied very well in the Rasi chart first. Then I see how these three situations are in the Navamsa chart to modify that. Then I individually see in the Navamsa chart again these three factors. That is the seventh house in the from the Navamsa Lagna, Jupiter in the Navamsa Lagna, Venus in the Navamsa Lagna. It's the shape and body, this thing. If the partner is to be beautiful, Venus definitely has to be strong. Then other planet is Moon. That is, the energies of Moon should be related to either Jupiter or Venus or the seventh bhava. If the energies of Moon are somewhat related to this in the Rasi and the Navamsa, then definitely the companion will be beautiful. I cannot say fair and black because we do not know if black is beautiful or white is beautiful. We can say that the companion will be very attractive, very beautiful. Yes, it also indicates the total marital life, whether it will be happy, unhappy, whether it will lead to a break or separation or a divorce or even widowhood. All these you can make by a critical study of the Navamsa. No, I do it the other way. I see the birth chart and see how they are situated in the Navamsa. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, there is a meaning between these padas. That is, certain padas of certain nakshatras have positive energy compared to the other padas. You take the nakshatra Ashwini, or a better example would be, say, nakshatra Rohini, which is in Taurus. Then we have four padas in it. The four padas of Rohini, which is ruled by moon. Yeah. Now the four padas of Rohini will be Mesha, Vrishabha, Midhuna and Kataka. These are the four padas. Now, if moon happens to be in the second pada, in the Navamsa it will come into Taurus, where it is exalted. So, Rohini second pada is more positive than the other padas. You get the point. So there is an intrinsic principle involved in it. And so the sages have given a list saying in this nakshatra, this pada, in this nakshatra, this pada, etc., etc. Depending on the friendliness of the sign, the exaltation of the sign, the inimical of the sign, you can give the levels of the padas. Ah. I don't think I contribute to that idea. I am writing this book on षोडश Vargas, and in that I have explained fully all these things, my ideas about these. And there I have given also a lot of information why the Navamsa is supreme compared to the other Vargas. And I have also told that why I don't use aspects in all the other Vargas, because as you know, out of the षोडಶ 16 Vargas, Rasi you will forget, we have 15. In that Hora we cannot use it anyway. And if you go through the Vargas, you will find in many Vargas, Rahu Ketu come into the same sign. So obviously aspect does not mean anything there. If you take like that, there are 7 Vargas in which Rahu Ketu come in the same sign. So aspects are not to be considered in these Vargas at all. What happened is, because the representation is done in the form of the same Rasi in the modern computer system, astrologers are rushing into the Vargas and analyzing them same as the Rasi, putting the nakshatra divisions also into it. So now he has one benefit, but He has now 15 charts by which he can give the most favorable reading to the client to make him happy. Because in some chart everything will be good. Please, please. Yeah, yeah. Okay. What I think is that using all the 15 charts, like the Rasi chart, Nakshatra divisions, everything, it's only going to add to the confusion. And if you are going to consider so many for any planet, some of these will be positive for it, some of it will be negative for it. It confuses the whole thing. So we must have two or three factors to be considered to synthesize. So if you want to consider the prosperity of an individual, you are already studying the Rasi chart, where there itself you have the problem of studying the second house for the financial, the ninth house of Bhagya, the 10th house for professional success. Then you are in the Navamsa already. Now if you take the D10 chart and again consider it like the Rasi and make all this analysis, you are confused, you cannot come to a conclusion at all. And then the question is, which chart dominates? Does the D10 overtake Rasi and Navamsa in professional matters? Or the Rasi only is the dominant? So how do you synthesize it? So Parashara only, if you take the clue from Parashara, see in the Vimsopaka strength, where he says how to assess the strength of a planet in the Vargas. He takes only the sign position, that is the Sthana Bala of the planet in each of the Vargas. Yes. Only the sign position, and he says, he gives the evaluation that if the planet is in the exaltation, own, very friendly, give so many marks, positive. So from that we get the clue that what he wants you to see in the Vargas is only the Sthana Bala of the planet. Yeah, yeah. See, there again I have my own idea. See, the Shodasa Vargas divide the sign into maximum 150 parts, 60 parts. Now, how accurate will that be if your birth time is not accurate? Everything gone. So you are judging something, making a decision of the life of an individual on an erroneous chart. So the Shodasa Vargas should be used very discriminately. That is why he has said Saptavargas, Shadvargas, Saptavargas, Dashavargas. Then he goes to Shodasa Vargas. Why he has given three categories is, depending on the accuracy of the birth time, you try to take only 7 Vargas. You take only up to 10 Vargas. Then, why does he give all the other Vargas? Is the Shodasa Vargas should be also used in Prashna, which our Prashna astrologers are not doing. Because they very easily put these shells or whatever it is, at the time calculate the Lagna and go away ahead with the prediction. Because everybody wants to make it easy to earn the money. But at that particular precise time, because only in Prashna the astrologer can fix the precise time. The moment you ask the question, I can fix the time to the second. But nobody knows. Generally they tell, I was born at 8. It doesn't mean at the stroke of 8 he was born. So we must depend only on 7 Vargas or 10 Vargas. We should not at all go to the Shashyamshas. So the Varga system is to be used also for Prashna, where the accuracy of the time is available, and then you calculate the sixth Shashyamsha also, then you are correct. You calculate the Nadyamsha also and make your predictions based on that. It is very correct. Yeah. Because it is totally related to the Prarabdha Karma. So, Avasyam Anubhaktavyam Krutam Karma Shubha Shubham. That is the sloka in the Upanishads which says, it is inevitable for anyone, including God, to escape Prarabdha Karma. Prarabdha Karma is already the accomplished karma. The consequence is waiting there to be realized by the person who has created it. Until that person realizes that karma, the equilibrium of the universe is not restored. And so, avasyam means invariably karma has to be realized. And to emphasize this point, if you read the Puranas, you will see how Shiva, how Brahma, how even Vishnu had to suffer because of their actions. The Puranas have trying to explain to us that even God cannot escape. Yes, it is indicative of the Prarabdha Karma. So, Parashara has given that the high value and says that basically decides the destiny of the individual. So, you have to modify whatever things are indicated in the chart accordingly. It is the umbrella. Yes. So that Raja Yoga will be obstructed for the individual, or the individual will himself make a false step by which he loses the Raja Yoga. Yeah. Yes. Because it is related to the Prarabdha. But one thing is, I am telling you, an experienced astrologer can see the prarabdha in the Rasi chart also. Yeah, that is the sixth, eighth, and 12th houses are related to prarabdha. So if this Ashtyamsha is going to be negative, these three houses will also be negative in the Rasi. So he need not necessarily see there. He makes a careful study of the 6th, 8th, and 12th houses. He knows this person has a heavy prarabdha. No, 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 no. We follow the negative, positive given in the Sashtyamsha list. And very interesting point is that the sage in each of these vargas, apart from giving the point that this planet, it will fall in this sign, and this sign, has also given names to those. They are, yes, for each thing, he has given the name of a sage or a Puranic character. There is significance for it. Why did he give those names? It is enough if he said that this division goes in Aries, the next division goes into Taurus, the next division like that, so on. Not only that, he says that these divisions are ruled by Vishwamitra, these are ruled by Durvasa, these are ruled by Vasishta. Why did he give these names? It is having significance because if you study the Puranas, you know the difference of the characters of these four sages. And so they give a certain meaning to that. That meaning is a guidance to the astrologer for the proper interpretation. In my book of Shodasa Varga, I have given all those things. How the meanings of the sages should also be taken into consideration in synthesizing the judgment. This Shodasa Varga is just being completed because it's a book of great research, Each Varga I had to do a lot of research to come to these things and show them. And so most likely early part of 2017 I will get it printed and published. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. That thing, there are no snapshot rules. There is what is known as intuitive insight. So what he told me is, when you want to give prediction to the client, first keep your mind peaceful and calm. You may be surprised that my dad, we had a big house. He used to have his office and he used to lock the doors of his office when he is making his predictions. No member of the family, no member of the staff, no servant should ever come and knock the door until he opens it. It's a strict order. So he was totally concentrated in that job of prediction. Second thing, you have to do pranayama. When you do the pranayama, your mind enters a phase capable of intuition. Yes, yes. Yeah. When you do that, your mind, your breathing gets into a rhythm. It establishes a harmony with the universal energy. And in the universe are the record of the past, present, and the future. So when you do the pranayama and when you look at the chart and you find a planet, Jupiter or Venus at a particular place, intuitively you know this is the result. It is only later on you find all the astrological excuses to justify it. That is how the process goes. That is, you see, one thing is human nature is always leading to this type of situations. Then another big problem, just as power is the most important for politicians, they are obsessed with power. The astrologers, I feel, have a strong bloated ego. And because I was in the Madras Astrological Association when I was there in Chennai, and we were always organizing lectures by astrologers and all those things. And always there were big fights and arguments purely on the basis of ego. Nobody just said, in my experience, this is what I found, it may be wrong. Nobody said that. They emphasize as if they are an authority on astrology and this is the correct. And so the conflicts, they are blown out of proportion because, you see, we are all studying something and trying to follow it. So, the ancient books written, you see, are only books guiding the guru to remember certain things which he has to teach the student. They are not textbooks at all. Yeah. They are coded works only for the help of the guru, because the guru will by heart it, he will make the students by heart it, but all the methodology he will explain to them. So, what is the use of just taking one of the sloka there and going on fighting on it, this is it, this is it, this is it. For example, there is in one book, the sloka, where if Jupiter is in the 7th house, the marriage will be the most happiest. And the sloka ends with the statement, Natra samsaya, don't have any doubt. Now that is very misleading because hundreds of horoscopes, Jupiter in the 7th house has ruined the marriage, has delayed the marriage. So it has not worked like that. So there is no use of saying that in that shloka there is Natra Samsaya, there is Jupiter here, so this marriage will be wonderful. If somebody argues like that, we can do nothing about it. So it is necessary for us to realize that we are all only trying to learn the subject, what the Guru has told. And it is unfortunate that the Guru Parampara has been lost in India. Yeah. So the Guru Parampara, when it is lost, and lost not 1, 2, 800 years. Since the invasion from the Middle East, Guru Parampara has gone. And that is more than 800 years. So we don't have the genuine knowledge. We are only trying to use our little brains to understand what it is. So there are bound to be conflicts, there are bound to be arguments about it. Who knows the truth? Yeah. Yeah. See, that is Sanskrit by itself is a very mysterious language. One word has 100 meanings. And, and for one meaning, there are 100 words. That is Sanskrit. So, the language itself is a mysterious language. That is why it is called Deva Bhasha, and that is why a mantra should be only in Sanskrit. Because that combination of sounds alone can generate the energy required. Yes, yes, exactly. That is my point. Is the point. That is the point. So it has to be read in that way, and then slowly the revelation will come. I don't think so. We have lost that Guru Parampara. Yeah, yeah. See, now Rahu Ketu to me are called karmic planets. And I agree with this. They are karmic planets in the sense that they indicate the karmic axis for the individual. See, supposing Rahu is in the ascendant, Ketu in the seventh. Karmic axis is 1 and 7. That is, there is some important karmic experience for this individual with regard to his matrimonial life. If it is 4 and 10, there is something important with regard to his home and profession. That is one aspect of this karmic axis. Because you see, it very interestingly divides the zodiac into two equal parts. That is, it is saying we are conveying the past to the present. That is the karma of the past coming to the present. So, they are karmic planets. Then, of course, the significance of each of them is there. Rahu represents certain experiences, Ketu experiences. For example, Ketu is a planet which indicates insecurity, inferiority, lack of self-esteem. And therefore, these people have a lot of suspicion. And sometimes they develop defensive methods which can be also wrong. Like this, each one has its own characteristics also. Rahu, for example, makes the person very obstinate, very determined, persistent, because he believes what he thinks is the right. So he persists on it. Like that, they have some individual characteristics. But you know, it is this that eventually leads the person to lead his karma. Rahu and Ketu, because they give these characteristics to the individual. Let us think, for example, Ketu is in the 7th house for a person. Now, Ketu in the 7th house creates the possibility of the life partner being promiscuous, is one reading in astrology. In other words, this person will continuously be suspicious. Partner. And is constantly accusing, you are doing this, you are doing that. And finally the partner will say, let me do it. So, your own intrinsic structure has led to the realization of the karma. Now, in that, if they two are together in a house which is friendly to one and enemy to the other, that planet's negativity is reduced in the original Rasi chart. See, Rahu is like Saturn, Ketu is like Mars. Now, supposing this Rahu Ketu in a particular Varga happens to be in, say, Capricorn, which is the sign of exaltation of Saturn. So, Rahu is better placed than Ketu in that. So, Rahu Ketu are found in Capricorn. Now, go back to the Rasi and see where Rahu is, reduce its affliction there. Mars, yeah, I'm sorry, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So Ketu. Yeah. Ketu. Yes, sir. Yeah, the precise time of marriage to tell is a rather difficult thing, because first we have to see in the Rasi chart whether there is early marriage, delayed marriage, or very much delayed marriage. First you have to establish these parameters. Then you have to go to the Vimshottari Dasha and the sub-period. Take into consideration the relevant transits at that particular period. Gochara. So, you must combine the Vimshottari Dasha, Antardasha, and if possible or necessary, the Prachantar Dasha, and the transits during these periods of the relevant planet, that is Jupiter, Venus, and in his own chart, the Lord of the Seventh, whatever it is. So these transits and the Vimshottari Dasha, Antardasha, Prachantar Dasha. If you synthesize this, you may be able to come into conclusion of the precise period of, say, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. But it's a difficult exercise, takes a lot of time. Yeah. See, the whole trouble came because as the Guru Parampara went away and astrology also lost its status in society, but people were continuing to practice astrology. and people naturally come to consult the astrologer. What has happened? The astrologer has to live after all. He needs the money. So he makes it simple. Unless he is able to attend to 10 clients, he is not able to live. And the clients were not giving the respect as they were giving in the olden days. So they give 5 rupees, 10 rupees. How can this man live? So he makes the process very, very easy, simple. And the client is. So it's a sort of a mutual way by which it began to come down, 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 down. Whereas in the ancient Guru Parampara days, the society, the king or the rich people of the society ensured that the astrologer of the village, 2 or 3 astrologers of the village, lived in utmost peace, happiness and luxury. They were like that. Even the poets were treated like that in those days. So they never looked after the society firm. So they ensured that they gave the correct predictions, they took the time, they did the calculations and did it. But today it is difficult. It is, yeah, yeah. And if you depend on the payment of the client, I tell you in my own experience, the father and the mother come with the chart, say this is the chart of my daughter, this is the chart of the prospective boy. I want you to compare it. What I do is, I first take the chart of the boy, see it, and tell all the bad that is in the chart of the boy. And say, this is the boy's chart. Now, if you are interested in comparing, I will compare. The reason is, the comparison is not going to mean that this bad is wiped out. There is an error of conception that if the Purutam agrees, it will remove the bad karma of the persons. No, that is not the reason at all. Because if karma can clear your bad karma, you will marry the girl who will remove all your bad karma. You become a king immediately. So it's a very easy solution to remove the karma. So nobody told that at all. It is neither told in the astrology nor in the philosophy. What is told is, you will get a companion who will be harmonious to share the ups and downs equally. Because at the time of marriage also, in all religions, the priest tells you that to thick and thin, we will stand together unto the last. But nowhere has he said all the thins will be disappearing. So people have this wrong. So what it is happening is, the moment I say that, then they will say, anyway, compare it, sir. So I compare it and I say, it does not agree. So please. Then he will begin an argument. But you see, sir, this boy is working in USA. He is a computer specialist. He is drawing 4 lakhs a month. And his father has his own property here. And our girl will be very happy there. And they saw each other in the photographs. They like each other very well. And so, we feel that this alliance is very good. What do you say? I say, the horoscopes do not agree. They do not agree. The horoscopes do not agree. That is my statement. I will stick to the statement. He is a computer engineer or whatever it is. How does it affect the astrologer? Then what do you know what will happen? What is your fees, sir? charging say 2000 or 1000. We didn't think it will be so much. I brought only 500. Can I leave it? Okay, if you brought 500, what can you do? He actually has 10,000 in his pocket. He will put 500 and go because I have not accepted. Supposing I had said, oh, wonderful, because I got the clue from the parent, because he is already telling either this thing and all. Even before I see the chart, he begins this lecture about the boy. So I know that he wants to get this girl married to him. So I said, okay, the Puruttam comes to nearly 55%. So you can go ahead and get him married. He's very happy. What is your fee, sir? 2,000. Doesn't matter, sir. You keep this 3,000 with you. So what is the policy I should adopt? So this has become the tradition. Everybody says, oh, it agrees very well, you get it. Because before the astrologer tells you are pumping him with the information that you want this alliance. And the parents are so obsessed with this. I can tell you a very classic example of a grandfather who came to consult me about the wedding of his granddaughter. And he gave the same lecture about the boy. I saw the chart of the boy and said, you see, around the age of 35 or 40, this boy is likely to get a very serious disease of the lungs such as tuberculosis. I must tell you that. Then I will see the Puruttam and tell you the percentage, okay. But I must tell you this. You know what he said? That is going to come at 35, 40. We are all not going to be there at that time. So let it happen. I will now perform a grand marriage to suit my status of a big industrialist. To a big industrialist. In the big mandapa and all those things. Finished. At the 45 we are all not there, let them suffer what they want. So these are the attitudes which a professional astrologer has to face. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah, I listen to all what he says and finally he says, what do you say, sir? As I told you in the beginning, it does not agree. But you are free to do what you want. I am not ordering you to get her married or not get married. My duty is only to tell. I tell this astrologically, this is the situation. I stick to it. Many people ask me, I am in this position of job. I want to resign and start my own business because I can prosper in the business. This job keeps me, yes, it is giving me a high salary, but I can't rise beyond that. I want to do. I very carefully study, form my reply very carefully and say, please don't resign, don't enter business, you have no luck in business. Then he will begin to tell all sorts of stories and again ask me, so what do you say, sir? I say, don't resign, don't go to the business. And I have seen some people again talk a little while, then stand up, and when going, okay, so you advise me to resign and and start the business. And he goes out. I did not at all say that. Exactly, you caught the point. That is the sentence. They hear what they want to hear, whatever you say. Because why, as I told you, avasya manubhaktanyam kritam karma shubha. It is his karma to resign, enter the job, lose everything, and come back to a job as a clerk instead of a manager what he was. Yeah. My email address is there because I now don't give any personal consultations unless they are very close friend who wants to see me in person. All other clients, I give all my readings by email. And so they can contact me on my email Sekhar Jaya, that is my same name reversed, Sekhar Jaya at hotmail.com. I have a website karmiccode.com. KRMICCODE. So karmiccode.com, which gives details of all my activities, etc. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.